Welcome back, everyone. Well, the calendar turns. It is Masters weekend, and we're just about a week removed from the end of the college basketball season. The Fountain Villanova crowned national champions, convincing win over the Michigan Wolverines on Monday night. Ahead of that, in Toledo, UT Rockets rolled to another MAC West title, 23 wins, a real tough loss in the MAC tournament championship game against Buffalo. Went on to make some noise in the big dance. UT head coach Kowalczyk joining us now for what has become almost an annual appearance on Conklin and Company to talk about the state of the game and the state of the Rockets. And Coach Kowalczyk, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Lee.
Appreciate it. Contract extension after you get to the MAC championship game, so you're going to be around a little while longer here. We anticipate, right?
We absolutely. My wife Julie and I love working at the University of Toledo. We love being a part of this, fantastic community, and looking forward to building on this year's success.
Yeah, and you only lose one senior. That's a big law. Or you lose one senior who was a major contributor in your team, Trayshawn Fletcher, the MAC Player of the Year, and really just tremendous basketball player. But you didn't have him for the MAC championship game.
Or the semifinals.
Right, or the semis. But a gutty win to get to the championship game. So the future does look bright.
It does. We got everybody back for the most part besides him. Our core group. So the guys that we started in that championship game, should be our starting five next year. It won't begin.
So do you still think about that loss? Are you able to move on?
Daily.
Kowalczyk? Okay, every day.
Daily.
Yeah.
And it was right there, we tied it up with under, about 3:50 to play. We hit a three, tied it up 66-66. They come down and made a very tough two, and then we had a turnover, and I kind of turned the tide a little bit. And then we had some really good open three looks that normally we make and just didn't make them in that game.
It all comes down, we're talking about this just before we came on. Hey, make some shots, right?
You got to make shots.
Hey, make shots. If you're John Beeline's team on Monday night.
Yes.
Make some threes, get back into the game. And all of a sudden, you're a better coach.
No question.
Right?
When the ball goes in, it's amazing.
State of the game. A lot happened, Coach Kowalczyk, in the last 2 months especially, leading up to the NCAA tournament. What happened out in Arizona, we still don't know what's going to happen with Coach Sean Miller here as we tape here. So what is the state of college basketball in your estimation here?
Well, I think it's a great game. Obviously, we have a perception issue right now. But let's keep in mind now, I think the issues and problems are a small percentage of the profession. It's a great game with some really good coaches. Obviously, some coaches have been doing it the wrong way, and hopefully, in my opinion, I'd like to see the FBI continue to dig even deeper, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case.
What do you mean? They're not going to go further into this?
I think they're going to prosecute, the cases they have right now. I would venture to guess they're not going to look for new cases, which is a little bit disappointing, but hopefully that's not the case.
But does it tick you off? You go into a gym in the summertime and you feel like you have no shot to get a kid who might otherwise want to come to a MidAmerican Conference school?
Well, I think you look at the issues and problems, it's mostly with the highest level and the highest level of recruits. Right. I don't think we have those issues and problems in the MidAmerican Conference.
Kids who come to the University of Toledo, some believe they can go to the NBA. They can eventually be good enough to play. And it's documented, it happens, right?
I think a lot of the guys that we have, they all think, I shouldn't say they all, but a great, a lot of them think they can make a living at this game, whether it be in Europe, whether it be in the NBA. Obviously, the dream is always the NBA. We have some guys that have had opportunities, Nathan Booth. Trayshawn Fletcher was certainly, he was in the Portsmouth Invitational, so he was getting NBA looks. So and we get some other guys coming up through that hopefully can progress to get to have a chance and an opportunity to be looked at.
I didn't believe that Holmes down at Bowling Green was going to have this NBA career.
He has.
But he certainly has, right?
Yes, he has.
So, and you can go back over the years at all the success that MAC players have had in the NBA. On the ethics committee, NCAA coaches, so you come off the weekend, Coach Kowalczyk, you have a meeting. So if I could fly on the wall, the ethics committee meets down in San Antonio during the Final Four. What can you share? And we talked about the state of the game that you're trying to clean up down there.
Well, it was more of a social meeting down at the Final Four. We have a sit-down day and a half meeting in May where we all come into Indianapolis and really go over some things. And that'll be a very interesting meeting this year. And hopefully we do come to grips with of what the problems and issues are ethically with the game and how we can help coaches change and really how we can change the perception of college basketball. Because it is a great game and some great people are part of it. But like any profession, right now there's some issues with it.
Yeah, I would, people who have watched this program over the years know how much I love the game too. And Thanksgiving rolls around and I'm ready. I'm watching those tournaments down at the Bahamas with, those early tournaments, the Maui Invitational. You play early on and you start getting things going, right around after Thanksgiving, right?
Correct.
So, but really the mainstream focuses in on March, right? I mean, how do you get more folks to watch you throughout the season? Is it a case where some things are going to be tweaked a little bit?
Oh, I don't. I think I don't think it's just about March. I think conference play. There's a lot of attention. There's a lot of interest in our game. Obviously, it's really a focal point for the March. Maybe not as much of a focal point in November and December, and not because of basketball, but because football is a great product going on at the same time.
Oh, that's right. Football's still going on.
Yeah, you got the most exciting part of the football season, and then obviously the most exciting part of the NFL. So we kind of take a back seat during that time. But I think once conference play starts, college basketball is as good as it gets.
Yeah, the crescendo really does build as we work our way towards spring and late February and into March. Buffalo, I said at the outset, Coach really made some noise coming out in the NCAA tournament, and you were that close to beating them without Trayshawn Fletcher. So does that speak to the MAC? It's been a one-trick pony for a number of years now, but
it's been a one-bid league. People get upset when you say that, but it's been a one-bid league for the most part forever. It's just the reality of it, and I don't see that changing because I think that's what the BCS and the Power 5 schools want, and that's the trend of the NCAA tournament selection committee. So. Really proud of what Buffalo did. You're right. We had chances and opportunities to beat them. I do think they were disrespected, and our league was disrespected by being a 13 seed.
Yeah.
They had a 25 RPI, which tells you they should be a 5-6 seed, and they ended up being a 13 seed. But yet, going against Arizona, I thought it was a bad draw. It was a great draw for them because they took them out behind the woodshed.
How about that? And it's interesting. I saw you just after the MAC tournament. You knew Toledo's not going to the NIT.
Yes.
Does burn your craw a little bit, Coach?
I again, it goes back to the respect level of the MidAmerican Conference. I do think, because the NCAA owns the men's NIT, they shrunk it down to 32 teams, and there's a whole at-large and automatic qualifying bids in the NIT, and they had 13 leagues below us that got in because they got upset in their conference tournament. So that's the real reason why we had no chance of getting in.
Yeah, and you felt at that point, I don't want to go to another tournament.
We were done.
Yeah.
We were done. We would have been proud and honored to play in NIT. Once we knew that wasn't going to happen, there was no sense in us continuing our season.
Villanova made 8,000 three-point shots over the course of the year, and there's talk now, Coach, about moving that line back. What do you think about that?
I think it will move back to the international line. It won't go back to the NBA, but I do think we'll move back. I got a feeling we're going to go to the quarters eventually, too, like the women's game is. Yeah. And even widening the lane a little bit, too. I think a lot of those things
up, right?
I think a lot of those, that's just how basketball has been going. The true low post game. There's not a whole lot of that. You watch how Villanova played and how they spaced the floor, and that's kind of how the game is going.
That's how Michigan plays too, right? But
they do. They got Mo Wagner now that can play. And we have Luke Knapp who can score on the block. But you have to be able to shoot the ball, and you got to be able to defend. On the perimeter.
Make shots.
Make shots.
We'll close it out right here. Coach Kowalczyk, thanks very much talking about a myriad of issues involving college basketball. It's great to see you again. And enjoy the summer, right? I know that it's your off time. You don't do anything in the summer.
Well, our downtime is made, but other than that, we'll be at full go at it. Recruiting.
Sweaty gyms, taking a look at prospective college athletes. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Lee.
All right, back in just a minute. Conklin & Company continues right after this.